And we are on, and there goes the first one. Wondering if I should switch this to the, so we
Oh,
don't
it
have them.
looks it's in debug. Is that what the deal is?
Well, it was in debug, but I also have it still on there, but we're actually going to be working on it. So
Oh
it
yeah.
will end up getting two at the same time, or we'll get the old one and the new one at this. So so turn that off for the moment. Um, yeah, so we left off in the middle of something.
Yeah, we're getting the little guy to walk around, and we were messing with the sprite strip.
That's right. I had to take all that out because it is actually what we use to run it. So
Right. If you could share your code
yeah,
on your
well, don't
Skype,
disconnect again.
I'll do my best.
This is another thing. Like I have to every time something gets messed up, like I have to redo everything. And it's just like
Yeah, I know.
it's
And
exhausting. It's exhausting. All right. So we have it where we're loading the green walkie guy.
right.
That's right. I took out this whole configuration piece because we did this manually.
Yeah. And then he comes in giant was another thing, but I don't think that was as major.
He came. Well, no, we fixed that.
Did we end up fixing that before we finished?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that was because we had a thing on there. Well, so we copied this from an example, and it had
Ah,
a like a scale by 4, so it brought it up even larger, right?
right. Okay.
Yeah, so that was.
And we had it close. I remember going like, "Oh, that's pretty close."
Yeah, we still have the So the weird thing is, the the thing plays the sounds. Um, the thing plays the sounds,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's in the browser, and you have to like actually click on it to actually activate it, so the sounds will play. It. So I didn't do that yet, but so when I clicked onto it, all the sounds play at once. So they're gonna that you'll hear that on the stream. Like, so if I end up, you know, like so for example, like if I were off or let me reload this. Right. So send in some. So if we send in some,
That's the best part of the stream.
yeah.
It's about time.
So here's the thing: like they'll go, and then so if you listen on the stream, as soon as I clicked into the window, all the sounds went at once. It just went. So it's a little silly. I'm wondering if we should make an option to turn on and off sounds.
Mm.
All right. So yeah. So
So
the
the little
guy's
dude's
running.
walking. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just this little thing right there that the frame is just a little bit out, and so we
Yes. Let's see.
get one there and one on the other side. Well, when it was big, we saw it,
Yeah.
right? Um, we were gonna we were looking at the Atlas stuff that you had sent me, which was the thing, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what I had seen. Like I was to give our viewers background on. We look at this stuff during the week sometimes, and I was messing around with some phaser stuff myself, and I come across this Atlas property that you can set, I guess.
right?
Um, and it kind of made me think about some of those files, the JSON files that come with those game assets. So we're thinking that that might help us. It might be like the guide to mapping to these spread strips. So I had sent John a link during the week
Yeah.
about like, hey, is this going to help us?
Did you look at what that Atlas file looked like?
The file itself, no,
Yeah.
I did not. I saw that it existed, and I knew that we had a JSON file that was
Right.
defining where the stuff was,
Yeah.
but
They're
no.
not even close. They're completely
Ugh.
different. So whatever it is, it's not from that. Um,
Okay.
but like I was saying, I actually have. See, I don't have it installed on this computer, but I actually have the tool that creates those.
The
Um,
Atlas file.
yeah. I wonder if I can. I think I can install it for free. because it's texture packer. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it looked like that allowed you to essentially call the frames by name, sort of,
Well,
or
yeah,
by reference, by
yeah,
some sort of logical reference, as opposed to like the coordinate.
yeah. So the um, there's all sorts of stuff that it does actually, which is very nice.
Texture packer, huh? Okay.
Yep. That I actually ended up getting this kit because it has a couple of things that are pretty neat. There's the sprite illuminator is kind of neat, and the physic editor is kind of neat. They offered some like the sprite illuminator kind of makes it so it kind of acts like a texture map, and so it creates some like makes it so that the sprites kind of pop a little bit. So you
Mm.
can start flat and it kind of pops them. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. So and it wasn't terribly expensive. Yeah, so
So could we use this and so we take what they gave us? I guess you know what? Instead of asking questions, I'm going to wait a minute and you can show me how it
well,
works.
you can ask the questions.
I'm just trying to figure out like so it's going to open up something where we can define um, on the strip which pieces are which. Is that what's going to happen here?
Yeah. So we have to we have to basically put this in here ourselves. Um, I just don't remember where I put those files. I think I just had them in here, right?
Yeah, I think that is it, right?
Yeah.
So-
So
Base pack, player, I think.
yeah, so I did the player.
And it was player one, walk. Or and there's a sprite sheet. P1 sprite sheet was down on the end there too.
Yeah, let's take a quick look and see what this one looked like. Oh, wait a minute, this might be it, actually. I looked at a different one and it wasn't this one.
So does that look more like what Phaser's expecting?
I think so.
Oh, nice.
I don't like the naming convention that they use for it. So I'll show you what is kind of nice about the texture packer over that, right? Because that was just the walk.
So the sprite sheet in general is
Yeah.
over there, second top row, second in from the right.
Yeah, I know, but why don't they have the... I guess there's no real animation for the jump, it's just jump.
Yeah, I
They're
guess it's just kind of flying,
Yeah, so it's just
just
flying.
like launch and land.
Yeah, so what you can do, right? So in here we can actually say, just kind of drop this right in here.
Right. Oh, and there it is. Awesome.
Oh, wait a minute, but this is, oh, that's what actually what I wanted. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this. Um, uh,
Can you?
I
don't see any
I should
delete
be
option.
able to because that's in here. I should be able to remove it. Nope. Where? Maybe I just need to hit the delete button. There we go.
Okay.
Following items are inside a smart folder or flash file and cannot be removed. If you want to remove them, you can remove them on the file system or move the smart folder from the sheet. Ah, okay. So let's do this. Let's just start a new project
Okay.
because I want to move these. Anyways, so I gotta
Alrighty.
put them in a new folder because it wants me to change them from this location, and I don't want to actually do that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to think of where I want to put this. maybe we'll just put it right in here as part of this. I'll just put it in here. We'll just add a new. I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to call it scratch folder for right now. So then this way I can actually copy in. I think. No, they're just there. Okay, so I copy the player over to here. Then in here, I'm going to actually. Yeah, I think this is what I opened, and I was like, "Oh, this should be."
That's what you're looking at, is the atlas.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I think that's what I looked at when I was like, "This isn't going to work that way."
Okay, because yeah, the one that I was thinking of was a JSON file, or else I would have. And that's the one that's inside those folders, I guess, those walk folders.
Yeah, and it's not exactly the same. It was close.
Yeah, but at least it's JSON, because I know I was looking at the content. So okay, but you got this now.
So now I'm just gonna put this in here. Didn't I already delete this other stuff? What the heck happened? So then I'm gonna, because what I want to do is I want to bring all these in, and we can put them all into one.
Okay.
So I'm just changing the format here. Alright, so we'll have those, and then in here I need to get rid of all of these.
And then those are single positions.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So then so now if I put
everything. Awesome.
Yeah, so then what you get is you get this set up. And what's nice about it is you can select walk and it'll show you where all the images are that I put onto the sprite. So what it's actually doing is it's taking all your sprite images, and why they call it a packer is because it'll actually try to squeeze out as much of the white space as possible. Mm-hmm. So this way you won't have bigger size than what you need, and then you give it where you want this to actually save and export to.
Okay.
What was that just popped up? That was weird. Oh, it was that message. Okay. Yeah, so now here we can actually say what we want to do, and did I lose you?
No, I'm right here.
Oh.
Am I moving still?
Yeah, you're moving fine. It was just all of a sudden the music just got really loud as if like the Skype call had dropped.
Oh. I don't know. I was
I'm like, I could see you there, but you weren't moving, so that's why I was like, wait.
I'm kind of engrossed in this program. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. you know, when you learn something new, your mind starts to like, oh, you know what I can do with this?
Well, check this. Like, you can actually see, like, you can see what it looks like.
Nice.
You can say, okay, well, how do I want it at, like, how fast do I want them to move, right? So you can try it at different frame rates.
What? Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, that's why I ended up getting it, because I was like, this is actually a pretty decent like tool, right? So then now here I'm just going to put this. I want to create this in our project.
We're gonna have all kind of little gremlins crawling around our streams now.
We could.
Be awesome.
So let's do. Yeah. So then here let's do this as we're going to do this as aliens. All right, so cool. So now that that's done, like you can actually do a whole bunch of stuff here. Like we can change what we want the image format to be when it's output, so that this way you can actually adjust size and stuff like that without trying to affect it the least amount as possible, right? So
yeah, well, like grabbing it with your mouse and dragging it around on a screen is ridiculous when you have like this is nice. This is really nice.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that's what you got, right? You're like trying to move like a pixel at a time to line everything up. How many hours can you spend on that trying to do if you have a lot of assets?
Yeah, exactly. And like, so this here is showing like this format that it's in, and you can see down here it says here's how much RAM it takes, right? So because this size, it takes 1.2 megs ish, right? So 1200K. But then you could say, okay, well, what if we just do it as see if we can do it indexed, right? Because there's not a lot of colors in it. Oh, that didn't change it. It should have.
Do you need to like re-render it or something?
No.
Like save it.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not changing it.
But you
That
see, like,
changed it.
well, yeah, that changed it because JPEG is terrible. I guess we'll just leave it there. There's some other stuff that we can do to it though. Like, I think, like, yeah, so we could change the format there, and that would help. But that's not really what we want. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. That was weird. I think this computer doing all the streaming and everything else all at the same time causes it to stutter quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we have this, so what's nice is that this actually does then name these sprites inside of the sprite.
Now it got those from the names of the files, right?
Names of the files and folders.
Okay.
Because I dropped them all in there together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I should be able to. Nope, that's not what I want to click on. Where's my publish button? All right, so I want to save this with the this area here, right? So I want to go aliens. Yeah, so here's the published sprite sheet, right? So I don't need the advanced settings. All right, so it automatically will name the texture file the same as the JSON file that comes out of it, which is pretty nice. All right, so boom, now we're done with that.
All right.
So yeah, so now with that we can. Just to show the code here, right? So now we've got that. Yeah, so now we've got our aliens PNG. So now if you open up that, now we have all of our stuff in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and if we look at this file here, this file say it's very similar to it.
This is the JSON that got generated?
Yeah, this is the JSON that gets generated, and this is what gets loaded by that atlas. So it's very close. There's a little bit of difference between this one and the other one, but I think it is interesting, and I'm not totally positive, but it looks like that texture packer actually loaded in that JSON okay. And I think that's part of the reason we got the error message that we got when I was trying to delete them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so like watch, I think, where'd it go? Oh, here's it back. So when I drop this in here, and when I tried to get rid of it, whoa, yeah, so that's there. So can I try to delete this one? Let me try to delete that. No, I can't.
It's that smart file thing.
Yeah, I thought maybe it actually had loaded that file, but I guess it did not.
All right. It's cool though, because we should be able to use what we generated, right? Like,
yes,
we're kind of there.
Yes, so now we should be able to work on that, right? So if we just look at the example here, right? So we went through this, we created the project, we did the export. Now here's where we talk about loading. So what we actually are doing here is we're actually telling it where those assets are as well, right?
Okay.
So if we bring this into our project.
So that said multi-atlas? Is that what that said?
Yeah.
Okay, so the property is that? I guess it's a method, huh? We'll click ahead. Oh no,
Yeah,
take
it's part of the load, right? So it's like loading the sprite sheet, right? But it's a similar idea, except that this is going to be our.
okay.
So now we're going to call this aliens.
Assets, aliens.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got to change.
that's not actually where that is.
Oh, the whole path is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole path is. Yeah. Okay. Images, sprites. So it's the same as this. Change that and then make this aliens. And then we make this. So with this last parameter here, I don't know if we can get to the definition now. So this last parameter is actually where it's going to find the assets that are referenced in the atlas file.
So it's like a root kind of a setting.
Yeah, because what you can actually do is you can actually tell the atlas, like when it's building it, to create multiple assets. So instead of having just one big file, like you could actually have multiple smaller files that are part of it.
So you got to give it the root then to look for those other pieces.
Yeah, like I think that's this here.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Make sure, but multi-pack. I mean.
Yeah. So then that way you can have I think there's a small benefit to doing it that way is that you end up getting the you could get where it loads each of the assets all at the same time, right? Especially when we're talking about web development, you want to be able to optimize your loading procedure. So there is going to be some benefit for us to do that. Okay. Now, just to go over what this looks like to use it. See, we can now there's this thing here where you now get not only the name of the atlas that you want to load in for the sprite, but then you tell it what the index information is.
So that PNG file is the file that has all the images on it, and the city scene is basically the definition of the whole, like in that. So that would be aliens for us. So that's the folder and everything in it too, sort of.
So city scene is the name of the whole pack, right?
Right. And that's what, like the other files, and that's all once it's all loaded up, right? Or no?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Like city scene, right there. Right. What does that represent for us?
That represents the whole pack. So it represents aliens in the way that we set it up. But then this background PNG is basically like this, like p1 duck.png. Right, so let's do just like real quick from here. Oh, I just closed it, didn't I? That's not smart. Thank goodness. All right.
Thank you, Google.
So I don't have to remember.
My phone turned on. Thought I said okay, Google.
Well, you did say okay.
I said thank you, Google.
Wow.
Apparently that's good enough.
Yeah, right? Let's see, what do we have in here? We have P1 duck. So we'll do that. Do P1 duck. Yeah, and 00 is fine. So now when we do that, that should give us our ducking guy up here. Yep.
And there he is.
There. Now, one of the things with Phaser to know too is that when it takes the image, it creates its origin at the center of the image. That's why we only see a corner of them. So we said put them at 00. That meant take the center of that image, put it at 00. And so that's why we only get that one quadrant of that information. There is actually a way that you can fix that on here. You can actually do this background dot set origin, and you do it like that, and that I believe will correct the issue. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Well done.
I can't believe I remembered that, actually, because it's been a couple of weeks since I was really playing in Phaser and actually trying to write a game. So that's why it's like I feel like, oh, this is going to be tough to remember all the stuff that I've done.
Doing good so far, John.
Yeah. All right. So now we've got our guy. There's actually a couple of other things that we can do with this. This adding an animation. So it's interesting how they do it. There's this generate frame names, and what it does is it will kind of assume a certain naming of the graphics for you.
Okay.
So
that is weird.
Yeah, it's a little strange. What it's doing is it's making it so you don't have to type them all out. Because otherwise you could do it yourself and you could go and create all these different pieces for it and tell it how you want it to operate. But this makes it so that it does this for you automatically. So you can see like this says start from 1, end on 8, pad with 4 zeros. So, or pad 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then that's why you get this 0001. Because that's how the framing names are done. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it puts the padding on the front, assumes a consistent name. Okay.
Yeah. So it has a prefix, suffix, and then how you want to fill in the numbers in the middle.
Okay. That's a strange little function. Okay.
Yeah. So then for us, example, so when we want to do the P1 walk, we're going to do the P1 walk, and then we're going to say from 1 to 11, it's going to start with P1 walk / P1 walk, and it's going to suffix with the .png, right? So we can do the same thing here. Yeah, okay. Let me just, I want to copy that.
Yeah, take the whole thing.
Yeah, because there's actually, I need to get this whole piece here, actually. So I'm going to copy it in and then cut out all the noise. So I want to leave that in there for right now. So that stuff was working. All right, so I want to get rid of this text. Sorry, get rid of this text. Get rid of this. All right, so this is kind of what we're trying to do, right? So we're going to do, we'll call this one alien. So we'll do alien. We don't need to set the scale on them. So for us, it's going to be aliens. We want this. We're going to start our alien with, we'll do the P1 walk. P1 walk. So that should be the right name.
Right.
Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. So that's the right way on that. So then now we just want to take it. We want to do our similar thing here. So we're going to copy this for our prefix. We're going to leave that as the suffix, but this actually has 11 frames and only pads to 2 digits. All right, we're not going to start this. I think that might be okay.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so then this will create the frame names. I want to put this out here real quick. So we'll just put it out to the console, and we'll log it so we can take a look at it just to see what that looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's there. So we should be able to reload this now. Oh! I still left something in there. I did. I didn't use the alien. This is not this here, so. something broke.
Something broke.
What did we get?
Cap guy. Cap guy. We did something. We left something in.
Alien create is not a function. Alien create is not a function.
Is it because it's called aliens?
No.
Because alien is the object, right? That var alien. So that's what you're trying to dot off of.
Yeah. Oh, did I did. So it's interesting how they do this, and I think I messed this up because it's supposed to be you're actually creating an anim's resource, like an animation's resource. So you're saying, here's that resource, here's the name, here's
and then
the frame.
applying it.
Yeah.
I see. I see. So you're creating it and then applying it to the actual sprite guy.
Yes.
Alien. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's confusing a little bit.
It's very confusing because it's the same
frame.
The same resource. Yeah, like it's a resource that can be reused. Oh, what happened here?
Yeah.
Oh. It is undefined. What did we do?
Frame of undefined. And undefined is...
So this actually came out undefined. So when this ran...
Frame names came out undefined?
Yeah. Oh, that's odd. That shouldn't... Yeah, so it didn't like it when it tried to actually set the frames for it, right? Because you see here, this is where we output, because that's line 56. And it's line 56. So this is definitely correct that it came out empty, but why? Oh,
So
wait a minute. This is why. It's saying...
Oh, P1 walk, P1 walk.
No, that's okay. But it's saying texture frame missing.
Oh, that's the PNG file in the folder. I'm sorry. So that's...
Yeah, so... That looks correct.
So it doesn't look like you, like, typed it wrong.
No, but this is actually the one that's failing. That looks like that should be correct. Let's take a look at the actual file and see. Maybe I missed something. These are all the ones before. Oh, they just have them. It looks like they're just. There's no folder that they're in. I was expecting the file names to have the.
In the JSON? Like
Yeah.
You expected to have the padding?
Why didn't it? That's how it did it for me before. But I mean, that means we can give it a try. I forgot I was already in here. So instead of doing that, we can just do. Should be able to just do that, and then just be able to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
you can see him. He's sitting over here because he doesn't have the origin difference, right? So that's why.
Right. The other one is the one we had already. So that's the new guy. Okay.
Yeah. So let's do the set origin on this, just like we did for that one that's marked as background. Yeah, so now we get this. We should have this guy down here now. Yeah. They look about the same too, except you can see now we don't have the little extra piece.
Yeah, that little piece is not.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see it on this one now too, though. It's interesting.
And I don't only get it like every so many frames because it's with the little like I'm dropping a few frames looking through the share, so every once in a while I'll see like a little something pop up for a second.
Wait a minute. Oh, we might be running into a problem because these are both the same key.
Oh, for the two different ones?
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Well, let's
try-
knock off the other one.
Yeah, so let's do this. Well, no, I want to do it like this and then see if.
Okay, so we can see both.
Yeah, because that might be why this one was looking okay now, because it was actually using the.
Oh, the other sprite strip.
Yeah, see, now I can see it popping back up there.
It's funny, I actually can't see it now, but I think it's because it's moving faster.
Yeah, right. Oop. Zoom in.
Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. I see it now.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, good.
Yeah, and over here we don't. Honestly, there's something weird too. Like, I don't know if you can tell this or not, but this looks fuzzy, and this one does not.
Yes, I can see it.
I want to
The
try.
lines look just not as crisp.
Yeah, there's something weird about it. Like, I don't know. Did I put something in there that's scaling it? No, because we removed the scaling. Let me see if we name this right and we set the origin on this one to 0. Here's what I want to do. Maybe instead of putting this there, I want to put this right underneath of it. So do this at 400 and 410. Huh. Now it's harder to tell. At least for me it is.
It is.
I don't know what
I
it
can't
is.
say. But we're going with the clean one anyway, so.
Yeah. So we
who
don't
cares?
need. And I can get rid of this guy. We'll get rid of all the stuff for the old one here, right? So we'll get rid of this. Don't need this. Yeah, so we've got that. We got
What's that walk 2 stuff down there? Is that the good one?
yes, this is the good one. Yeah, so this is the one where we're actually setting up. This is the right animation. Oh, take that out. Oh, you know what? I did want to actually see that. So let me. So if you look over here now, this is the 11 frames.
Ah.
So you can see like this is what it ended up creating. And so it knows this is the order to play them in. So that kind of gives you the order to play them. That then references where on the sprite strip it actually is, and it grabs that block for the drawing portion. This next piece here is actually a definition on how we want those frames to get used. So right now we have it at 10, but I think we noticed in the... So in here, when we were able to actually do like the...
Yeah, the preview animation.
Yeah, so now we can preview it and see it's 16 frames. That's pretty good. I think that might be... Depends on what we want them to do, right? How fast we want them to move. But 16 looks pretty good.
It does. It looks good for like a kind of a casual walk.
Yeah, so I think if we do that then... now we should only have the one guy in there.
Right.
All right. So then now the question, or the next piece with this is going to be, where do we want him to actually come out, and then how to move him around.
Yeah, well, let's just start having them walk right across the middle of the screen like just for the beginning, just to make something happen.
Yeah.
So once we get how to code it, we can get creative with what he's going to do.
Yeah. So
we could have a couple different animations of fire, right? Like we could have like a roll, like we were doing with the fireworks.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. What I was looking for. Oh, I didn't do it here, did I? So there's actually, we could actually do this with a tween. And I'm trying to remember how to do it. I might have to look that up. I'll just do a tween example. So this is where you can actually like kind of have it change stuff over time without having to define each of those things, right? So I think this will be an example of where they do it for the bubbles. So it's not so as an example here, this doesn't have something that checks each bubble and says, okay, I need to subtract so much X from this to move it up the screen or not, or so much Y from it. What it actually is doing is it has this tween idea. So what you're doing is you're going to say, all right, I want this to tween, and I want it to go to where Y is negative 256. And then you tell it how fast you roughly want it to go. And then you tell it how you want it to go. And then, like, I don't remember what these other ones are.
Right, but there's some settings, whatever.
Yeah, so, and you could do a lot of stuff with it, right? And it gives you that capability of making it easier to animate some of the stuff on there. Initially, I was thinking about using this for the fireworks, but then I thought the fireworks seemed better for using the physics, because then it'll actually kind of fall the way it's supposed to, and then we can do some action based on that.
Yeah.
Because tween is kind of really meant to be more like straightforward, like you're changing this by a certain amount each time. So we'll take this here, just so I don't have to remember it, right? So then we can almost use this as is. What was the...
So you're changing the Y on that. You probably want to change the X, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely want to change the X.
So if you're going left to right, because that's the way he's facing, we'll be going to the positive, right?
Yeah, we're going to want to go. So if he's going to go all the way across the screen, it's 1920. And that's fine. And speed, we could just hard code for now. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I'm trying to get an idea of what these values should look like.
So that's between 4,000 and 6,000.
Yeah. Well,
milliseconds, I guess.
Oh, you know what? It is milliseconds.
So it's the milliseconds to get to the position.
So let's do 5 seconds. I don't know what this true and false are here, but let's give it a try and see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens, right?
Oh, game is not. Oh, I forgot to change.
What did we? Oh, there you go.
Sprite is not defined. What's that? Oh, because I called this one.
Now it's gonna work.
Oh, cannot read property length of.
What? Oh no.
Of targets.
That's in Visa.
I think there's something in our example that must be doing something. This seems fine. Oh, wait a minute.
Ah.
I bet you there's a setting in there that's weird.
There you go, tween body, maybe.
I don't even think this is
Lots.
more physics tweening. Yeah, it's. Oh, that might have actually given us the information that we needed, though.
It's moving though, yeah. So
Yeah, so this. That might have been why it was getting upset, because it actually changed it, right? So this is now.
that is a whole different deal.
Yeah,
It looked a lot different.
yeah, it's definitely different, right? So let's see, tweens.add, and now we've got to give it an actual object here. So let me get that. It's very similar to what we were doing. We're not going to do the yo-yo. But we're going to say X. We're going to do the same value. We're going to do this for 6 seconds. Yeah, so this is ease in out. That's fine. Repeat 0. This is going to be false. And our target is our alien. I think that's going to do the trick. Cool. Let's give that.
You need to turn it on, or it just happens that way.
It just starts as soon as you add it. See, like, so this being here just tells it to do it. So in this case, this one does a repeat indefinitely. That's what the -1 means. And yo-yo means it goes back to the starting position. And then it'll do it again, right? So that's why up here you see the box keeps going up and down.
Right.
What it's showing, though, in this example is that this is a physics body. That's why it's got this purple border, which means that this is going to run into it. So it's a collider. So that's why this.
Yeah, it's falling actually a little faster than the guy.
Yeah, and the guy itself doesn't have any motion on it. It's just getting pushed up because this is pushing up on him. And then when it drops, that's why it starts falling. And falls like later than the actual.
Yeah, a little slower.
Yeah, it looks like they actually got a little bounce on it too. Yeah, there's cloud gravity.
Overlap bias. Okay, so did we get our guy?
Let's see.
There he goes. Look at him go. He's moving fast though.
Yeah, so we may actually not want him to do this. I wonder if we just comment that out.
What's the ease?
So what it means is that it's like it starts off slow and then speeds up and then slows down as it gets closer to the thing. Right? Yeah, so now he's just walking evenly. That was actually a pretty good speed for the animation, right? So
yeah, would have been a little fast, but
you can try slowing it down, right? Make it maybe 10 seconds.
so it would be fun to make him like stop and look around a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Like, there's a bunch of stuff with the tweening that we can do that would allow us to kind of like chain up a bunch of stuff to have him do things, right? Because I think you can actually say like when this ends, what to do next, and you can like you can chain tweens, so we could actually have it kind of change, like do different things. It's like this is positional specifically, but you can do anything with this, right? So let's go through. We can look at some of the examples because I think it'll help us get a clearer picture of what's available.
Okay.
Come on, back up. That's just slow. So like an example here is this one here. So this is a tween on the tint. So you can see, like, so now it's going to go through and it just, oh, this one just fades out, but it did something else as well. But so on this case here, you can see it basically has on update, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So you could we can literally.
So we can pass another function. So it's got a callback function essentially.
Yeah, well, it has an on update function. So this is basically you're manually creating a tween, and it will do this thing every so often, at a duration of for 5 seconds. It'll run this going from 0 to 255. So what it does is it breaks up this number from 0 to 255 by 5,000 milliseconds and passes that value in here on each update. So the first one it would come in, it would be 0. Then the next one would be 0.2. And the next one would be 0.9, and then the next one would be 1.4, right? So that each time it comes in here, it'll then, you can use that value to change whatever it is that you're doing, right? So here it's taking it, converting it from a float down to an integer, and then using that integer to change the color values.
Yeah, slowly fading out. Okay.
Yeah, and there's already a fade, so it doesn't help that much, but it's like, it's just an example of how you can really do almost anything with it. Let's see if there was. What is a number tween? Oh, it's just.
Oh, it just runs down.
It's basically using the update to basically output the value of what's coming into it.
Yeah, so it's sort of just illustrating what you were talking about.
It is. It is. Yeah, you can see how the value is growing over the time.
Right. So it's really just a matter of it will break where you are to where you want to go, regardless of whether it's a point on the screen or a value, and then break it into the number of segments that you give in that duration, and then pop an event, an update event every time.
There's an interesting piece here. So there's this total progress that I noticed on here, right? So the tween, so the tween value actually has a bunch more in it, right? So the get values, how you actually get out the value that it's passing in. But you see this other stuff here. What was interesting is this total progress. Watch.
So you can see if you're 30% in.
No, I think it actually just shows you when. Yeah, I guess it would, right? Let's see. Yeah, so that's showing the amount of time that or the amount of the tween that has been completed.
Okay.
So you can see 1 is 100%, right? So it's producing the values as a float, because floats are what JavaScript has for identifying percentages.
Okay.
So that's good. Oh, why did this not? Come on, back up. Let's look at this immediate stop it tween. Oh, interesting. So you can just do tween.stop. It's interesting that there's a delay on the start of it, I guess. I wonder if they have I'm trying to identify if there's a
what?
I'm looking for the idea of merging tweens together so that they operate as like a collection. Spleen between points.
Oh.
I mean, I guess there, because we have a time on it, we could kind of have them operate as a collection. Oh, so this
So
was
I
just
found a thing that says tween several properties.
okay.
Does that help us? Let me send it to you.
I don't have any. Shoot, I don't have any chat stuff open.
I throw it on the Slack.
Yeah, I don't have Slack open.
Oh. I could put it in the Skype. Put it on the stream.
Yeah, here we go. I got it.
Because they're falling and spinning, so I felt like
Yeah, but
that
we
might be
wanted to.
helping us.
Yeah. It's not bad. I'm just trying to see what this. Oh, this is a Phaser 2 example.
No.
Ow. What was the name of that one? It was between several properties.
Yeah,
Let's
tween
see.
several.
Multiple between.
So let's use that version. Weird.
What's that?
There's a version selector, which was interesting on that other. It only went up to Phaser 2, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I've noticed it's weird that the searching, even though you typed in Phaser 3, it still does it for Phaser 2. I'm trying to see if we can find
I mean, you could just have a little routine, right? That runs the tween and then it ends and then you just do the next thing. Like, is there a way to just wait till it finishes? It's kind of that callback method, right?
yeah. No. The callback method is not a. It is on each step of that change.
So the update. Okay. So there's not like a when I'm done callback.
I don't know.
Okay.
But that one that you're talking about is not.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at here was for. So this is the actual object. Let's see if this. Repeat relay. Ooh, there is an on complete. Looks like.
Tween on complete callback. Okay, so we could at least raise something when it's done.
Yeah, see. The thing is, though, is I could have sworn I remember seeing. I thought I remember seeing something where they had, like, tweens doing something, so you could say, when this is done, then this gets done, then this gets done, then this gets done, and like it would automatically do it. But I'm not seeing what I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to think about like a construct that you could build that would do it, but what you're saying is there's kind of a built-in way to nest them up.
Yeah. That's why I was just trying to. Well, we can definitely do something like that, right? So if we wanted to try something along those lines, right? Let's maybe have it go to the middle of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's like 900 and some.
860. 960.
960.
Yeah, so that should take us to the middle, and then we can have an on complete. Let's do this. I don't think I even need this because it's just the same, right? So we'll just copy this here.
Right, and then just have them finish the.
Oh, what if we have them walk back, right? Have them walk back to 0
Ah,
and do it over 10 seconds. But this time we're going to actually change the alien.
turn them around, yeah. Flip his graphic or whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think that's how it's done. Wait, we'll see if it breaks.
See? Oh my goodness, 605 by the way.
Yeah, we're going to need to wrap her up
Here it
soon.
comes. Here it comes.
So 10 seconds is much slower going halfway in the distance. Probably should have made it 5.
It's alright though, he's doing his thing.
Hey, it stopped.
And there's nothing happening.
Yeah, because let's see. Phaser 3. Flip. Sprite. Ah, that's what it is.
It was true.
Yeah, I knew that there was. I remember it being flip X, but I forgot that it was that way. So just send that back to 0. But let's make this 5 seconds. 10 is way too long for just that short distance. All right. Whoa! What happened?
Oh.
Oh. So.
Oh man.
What?
There's stuff.
Okay. So. Yeah. So the problem is the context of this isn't available. This is not available. This is not available. I feel like there's another way of. I don't know. We might have to try to address it next week.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, I got classes starting up actually. We gotta wrap this up.
Oh, you're teaching another one?
I'm not teaching it, but I'm the coach's coach.
Oh, I gotcha.
So when something goes wrong, they call me.
I see. Let's see if we get a.
Oh, he turned around. Is he going back? It's hard to say with no background. Looks like not.
No, he's definitely not, because.
Yeah, right, because there's a slider. So he can turn, but he's not moving.
Why? Oh, because.
Oh, because the code's not there.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Right. So I could do like this and just say stop. Hit stop all. No, is it just stop?
Here he comes. Stops.
Yeah. So he turned around and stopped, and now he's. Cool. Well, I think it'll be interesting to kind of play around with like what we can do with animations then.
Yeah, how we can walk him around, different things we can make him do. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Pete, you have a wonderful evening, and
You too,
we'll
man.
be back here tomorrow morning doing
Tomorrow morning, indeed.
Snap Adventure. It's exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. It's funny because one of my students actually wants to create a similar type game.
Oh,
So I
really?
told him, well, yeah, I was like, actually, I'm doing a stream. It's kind of like that. So you should check it out.
Ah,
But,
very
yeah.
neat. Very neat. All right, awesome.
All right, everybody. I
All
guess
right.
that brings us to the end here.
We are signing out. All right, man. We'll go. Oh,
What happened?
my scene ending soon looks black. I don't know if it's gonna go out properly, but we're gonna end it anyways.
All right. Good night, everybody.